Hey guys, Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. So I was planning a project, kind of a big project. Maybe I'll still do it with the Take a Bow Designer Series paper on a black base and bring in the black stamping with the words and the black baker's twine. It was a little bit of a task, something that I might still do, so I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm planning this project. I made my gorgeous bows. Look at those two-step stamping, the bows, and cut some greenery, made my bells. Look at those bells with the crushed curry and the gold embossing. I was ready to start my project. I grabbed my Take a Bow Designer Series paper, and wait till you see. This is what I have. This is what I have in stock right now. And I was like, how do I do a big project with that? It's even funnier. Ready? Wait till you see this. One sheet of 6x6. So I was like, oh, I can't do a big project with that. How many times do you find yourself with this and you can't bear to get rid of it because it's too pretty? Well, I found myself in that situation. So I changed my plan a little bit, grabbed one of my project sheets and templates from my binder. Done this before. There's a sweet peach version, and I used some peach cream hard candies inside. Today we're going to do a little matchbook for Ghirardelli Square, and we're going to use up some of those gorgeous Take a Bow scraps. All right, let's get started. I've got a two-piece template for you. Don't worry, the template photo will be in the printable project sheet along with measurements, step-by-step instructions, and full color photos. All right, so you don't need to jot anything down. You don't need to pause and screenshot. Just go to kitchentablestamper.com. The link is in the description below to the project sheet and download the printable resource. It's awesome. All right, so we've got 2 3/4 by 3 7/8 in basic black and 2 3/8 by 5 3/4 in basic black. 2 strips, so you can use your scraps cardstock. I pulled out my scrap envelope of basic black and made all my wrappers from scraps. Now we're going to take this 5 3/4 inch by 2 3/8 inch piece and put it in on the 5 3/4 inch side. And then we're going to score at 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and 3/4 inch. Then we're going to zoom over here to 3 inches, 3 1/4, and 3 1/2. All right, that's the inside pocket. We can put that aside. Then we're going to do the cover. We're going to put this in the 7 3/8 inch side. And we're going to score at 3, 3 1/2, and 6 3/4. That's the outside wrapper piece. Now, you might have seen us recently do some bigger versions of this matchbook pocket. So there are 2 sizes on the blog. Go check it out. You'll use them for all kinds of different things. I'm going to grab a bone folder and some tear and tape and a tiny attacher stapler. Let's go ahead and work these score lines with the bone folder. It's just in time for the season of giving, right? And a great way to use up scraps. Now, if you missed our video from yesterday, we had a little bag in a box, and we filled that bag in a box with Ghirardelli squares, pumpkin spice, and caramel apple. So you can get some great fall flavors right now for this idea. And then, of course, the peppermint bark is showing up in all the stores. I got mine at Sam's Club, and I've seen them at Costco too. So you can get the big bags of the Christmas holiday flavors at your warehouse club. And today is November 1st. As you're seeing this, great day to go check your discount stores, the Halloween clearance for some of those great fall flavors. So use up your scraps and get a great deal on candy. All right, so what we've done is we've worked all of our score lines with the bone folder. And the one on the pocket is going to be a mountain, valley, mountain, and then a mountain, valley, mountain fold. All right, so take a look at that. And what we're going to do is from one end, we'll fold toward you, on the first score, away from you on the second score, and then toward you again on the third score. Then on the next score, after you skip to 3 inches there, you're going to fold toward you, and then you're going to fold toward you, and then lift it up and fold back and forth again. So when you put it all together, you're going to have a little pocket with 2 accordion sides. Let me see if I can get the camera to really show that mountain, valley, mountain, and that's a little pocket that your treat will go in. And then on the other piece, you're going to start on that first fold, and you're going to fold toward you, and then you're going to fold toward you again on the second fold. That gives you the top of your matchbook. And then on the last fold, fold away from you. All right, so then you've got a little pocket wrapper like this. Okay, we've got our folds. Let's get some tear and tape. And you could use liquid glue here too. On this last tab, we're going to add some tear and tape. Now the tear and tape is about 1/4 of an inch. That first score line was at 1/4 of an inch, so it might hang over a little bit, so be careful here. If you're using the tear and tape, you'll want to remove the liner and then check and see if the adhesive hangs over anywhere. And my adhesive does hang over. You can see right here. No big deal though, because you can just fold that back and make sure you do that so that you don't make your pocket all sticky. Candy will get stuck, or the pocket won't flex when you open the matchbook, depending on where the adhesive is sticking. All right, then we're going to close this up this way. And before we attach our pocket inside of our matchbook, let's get some designer series paper. I've got my Take a Bow scraps here. I'm going to cut down for your cover 2.5 by 2 3/4, 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then for the inside 2 by 2 1/8. So it's just a little bit longer than it is wide. Let's adhere these pieces. I'm going to use some liquid glue. Okay, our little inside piece and 2 outside pieces. All right, now, then we can assemble the pocket to the wrapper. And I'm gonna put a piece of tear and tape across the bottom of the pocket. On the back, there is a seam, so make sure you get the seam to the back. And then we'll pop that in just a bit above the score line centered. Fold up that bottom flap and give a little staple. You can use a standard staple here too. I just think the little one looks really cute from the tiny attacher. Stampin' Up! Used to have a mini stapler. Use that one. All right, the Ghirardelli square will fit right in the pocket, and it's got that cute little flex when you open and close. Isn't that great? And what a way to use up scraps, right? Now let me show you this one. We decorated this one with the bells and like mistletoe kind of a leaf, and the die cut pine boughs. We'll do that one live. If you don't follow our YouTube and Facebook, you should. We go live every Friday at noon Central Time, and every other Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Time. The Thursday is a challenge for you to craft the project and give it a try, and we have prizes for our challenges. All right, so we're going to need to do some stamping, and we're going to do this version today. So I've got some basic white, and I'm going to stamp my bells in crushed curry first, the base of the bells, so that my crushed curry ink can dry entirely before we try to emboss. All right, so there's 2-step stamping here, and we've got the base image of the big and the small bell. I'm going to ink up really well with crushed curry and give it a stamp. Let the ink transfer. We want a nice solid image here. And then the little guy. And then we'll go on to doing some of our other stamping while this dries, because we're going to go over it with clear ink and gold embossing powder, and we want a crisp definition between our gold bells and our metallic embossed highlights, okay? Let's get some ink pads and do our greenery. I've got granny apple green and garden green and the 2-piece stamping for those pine boughs. We're gonna take the more full piece that's like the base of our pine bough, and we're gonna ink up really good with granny apple green and stamp. And again, let that ink transfer. And then we're going to do the details, the shadows, the second step of the 2-step stamping with garden green. And there's our gorgeous pine bough. I'm gonna switch inks one more time. All right, I've got Versamark ink, and then the details for the bells. I guess that the highlights would be the white, so this would be the shadows, and it really does give a nice 3-dimensional effect. So I'm going to prepare my bells with the embossing buddy from the Embossing Editions toolkit. I'm just gonna swipe some powder over that. That'll make sure that we don't have stray gold embossing powder everywhere. Then I'm going to ink and line this up and stamp. Then we'll do our second bell. I wouldn't do too many of these. You don't want your ink to dry before you have a chance to put the powder. But I think 2 is okay. Got some scratch paper and my gold embossing powder. We're just gonna pour some gold embossing powder over that and gently tap off the excess. Now, because the gold is gonna be a high contrast against the white, you might want to take the brush from the Embossing Essentials toolkit and just swipe away some of that gold powder, especially if you were keeping this, like if you did this on a circle or a rectangle and you were gonna just put that piece on the card. This comes in really handy. I'm going to sweep up my pile a little bit and put this back in to the container. Ah, look at my mess. All right, let me grab my Embossing Editions brush again. I'm just sweeping it to the end here and picking it up. You probably can't see. Nope, you can't. It's off the edge of the camera, but I've got the same paper. Might as well just leave it in here. It could go on the bloopers reel. Maybe we'll have a bloopers reel at the end. I don't know. I think that it's good to see. Everybody does it. All right, so I just use the brush and then put the paper at the end of the table, fling the powder onto the paper, and take 2. All right, so the little brush is kind of a nice bit. Nobody wants to feel that on the surface while they're working, right? Okay. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, let's get this ugly Versamark pad out of here. I do have a nicer one, by the way. I'm not exactly sure how this one got picked for my videos. That was a pretty grungy pad, wasn't it? You're getting all the behind the scenes here. All right, so we've got our beautiful bells here. Let's go ahead and heat them now to melt that powder. And there we have our metallic accents on our gorgeous golden bells. All right, let me show you one more bit of stamping while that cools. I've got this little nested essential banner. I love this little guy for a small sentiment. It's the littlest one. It's about 5/8 by 1 1/8 if you're looking for something to substitute. And I cut that from basic white. Now I'm going to pop a little sentiment on there. I've got the word joy, and we're using the gold and greenery bundle. You can find this in the online exclusives. There are new online exclusives coming in just 5 days, so get familiar with that. MarisaAlvarez.stampinup.net. Click products online exclusives. You'll find this one already there, and look out for the new ones coming in just less than a week. No greetings in that golden greenery stamp set, so I got this little joy from Iconic Imagery. And Iconic Imagery is also an online exclusive. You won't find those stamp sets in any catalog. I'm going to stamp the word joy with Memento Tuxedo Black to pull that black base color all the way through. Give that nice high contrast. And then I love this little banner because you can use it like it is. It's a great way to add a pop of color in a design or a small sentiment. But we can also turn this one into a tag, and we'll just use a 1/8 inch circle punch for that. I got a little handheld Fiskars one. It's smaller than your standard office circle. And now we've got a cute little banner tag. All right, putting aside everything, we're gonna do a little die cutting here. And I'm gonna just trim these a little bit closer because we're gonna do these and some garden green leaves, and I want to see if I can get it all through in one pass, because you know I love to get it all through in one pass. I think that's winning. All right, so this is the leaf that we're going to do in garden green, and we're going to trim it a little bit so we don't really need all that stem. Oh, I'm totally getting this all through the machine in one pass. Anybody else feel like getting your die cuts for a project done in one pass through the machine is winning? If you think that's winning, then leave winning in the comments. It doesn't matter if you're watching embedded on the blog or if you're watching on YouTube. Leave me a comment and let me know if getting your die cutting for a project done in one pass through the machine makes you feel like $1,000,000. Winning. That's the comment you should leave me today. All right, let me line up these dies, and we're going to get everything through in one pass because we're amazing women. Well, I am. If I do say so myself. Oh, let's see here. All right, there they are. I love this combination of the die cut solid green. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's not really a mistletoe. I think that it's too round along the leaves, just a great greenery. And then the stamped elements with the bells and the pine bough, really cool. All right, let's get this decorated. So here's my sample, my little bells and joy tag. I'm gonna put those aside for a minute. I'm going to weed this guy out. There's a couple little pieces here that don't belong. And then I'm going to trim it just a little bit because we are on a small space, and have it hang off a little bit is kind of organic to let it flow off the edges a little bit. But I would prefer that we keep that kind of to a minimum. So what I decided to do is just cut these 3 little leaves right here off. And so I'm going to take my scissors and round this leaf right here. And of course, if you want to, you could pop those little leaves in somewhere else, maybe inside, if you want to really get crazy with the decorating inside. I'm going to slide them aside, and then I'm going to do a little strip of tear and tape, and I'm just going to put it, okay, where I know that the whole thing is going to get covered up. I'm going to pop my guy on here, and then I'm going to take a little bit of dimensional adhesive and pop a few little pieces. Oh, I've got an edge here that's just hanging on for dear life. Let me cut that up a little bit. And I'm going to take some little pieces and I'll pop them here and there to just reinforce this guy. Taking some really small pieces at the base of these leaves right here. And stick them right to the edge, and then I'll do another like mini dimensional right at the end of this piece, and then I'll probably split one right here and do a little bit on the ends of this piece. So we didn't need a lot of adhesive to hold it at the center. We're actually going out to the extreme edges here, which is going to give it a little bit more durability. All right, so there's our first layer of greenery. Then we're going to add our stamped layer of greenery. Now you might have enough adhesive here to get that little guy to stay. And you're going to take any area where it's going to show and just roll it back a little. There we go. Not enough adhesive, so I'm going to grab some liquid glue, but it'll cover up that sticky spot. And just add that guy on. And it's a little bit higher than you might think because we want those bells to have plenty of room and not get caught in our fold. All right, next up for the bells, I'm going to put a little bit of dimensional on the back of each bell and on the back of my joy tag. And then I'm going to put my bells and tag on. I'm going to just go ahead and put them on the project. Make sure that the holes in the bell there lines up. Now we've got some dimensional on the joy and we'll tuck that right in there too. Now I'm going to take my black baker's twine here and I'm going to put it through one of these floss threaders. I love this. And you could just tie a bow and stick it on there with a glue dot if you like, or a little liquid glue. But I'm going to pull the thread through the hole on the bells. And then I'm going to pull the baker's twine through the little joy tag from the back to the front. I just love this little flosser. It makes it possible for me to get the twine anywhere without any fuss. Okay, now it's through both of those and I can actually tie it like make a little bow like it's all tied together. Because it is, you know, you can skip that process if you want to and just tie the bow and stick it down at where all those little things come together. But I love that the floss threader makes it no fuss to just tie everything all together. All right, now let's get some ribbon scissors and we can trim off the excess. Then last, every project needs just a little bit of sparkle. We've got our stamped, our embossed, we've got designer series paper patterns, but we still need a little sparkle, right? 'Tis the season for sparkle. I really like these gold texture adhesive back dots with the crushed curry and gold embossed bells. And so I'm just gonna add like a little accent here and bring that gold elements in a triangle. You see, so we got our bells as the first point on the triangle and then our two dingles. I really like the way that it just kind of finished off with another little pop of yellow of the gold. And there it is. There's our Ghirardelli matchbook. Here is another same die set bundle stamp set. Same designer series paper, just a little bit different arrangement of the greenery and designer series paper. I'll be doing that one live. Go check out the live. If you've got any questions about the project, if there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, email marissa@kitchentablestamper.com and to shop Stampin' Up 24/7, buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Don't forget about all the awesome online exclusives and the new release coming November 5th. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.